Hey everyone, Melderon here. Great news today. Another piece of Classic WoW news from the Classic WoW development team via a blue post posted about an hour ago. So we're going to read it. This is by KVax again, and we'll just do a brief little synopsis at the end. At BlizzCon 2018, we proposed a plan to give Classic 4 content phases. These are planned to be centered primarily on raid power progression. Currently, based on both your feedback and our own deliberations, we're now planning to increase it to 6 phases. Our focus is still primarily on player power progression, but we're also aiming to capture what it felt like to play in a realm community in original WoW. To do that, we're planning to mirror the approach taken by original WoW with patches paired together. We'll launch Classic with content from original WoW through patch 1.2.x. Then the second update will include content that was originally in WoW 1.3 and WoW 1.4. So they're basically combining 2 content patches in one. So there are 12 major content patches in vanilla WoW. So I'm guessing they're going to do 6. The third Classic update will have 1.5, 1.6, and so on and so forth. Our first phase primarily focused on launching Classic with Onyxia and Molten Core, but we've decided to hold off Dire Maw for a while. Great. Addons is still the first phase because it was originally released on December 18th, just 2 weeks after the first player hit level 60. That's fine. But we recognize that Dire Maw is in a different category. Some of the loot that's attainable from Dire Maw is so good that it will affect progression through those early raids. This is beautiful to read, guys. There's so many pre-raid BIS in Dire Maw for many classes. We're also planning to hold off releasing Kazakh and Azure Ghost at launch as well, for the same reasons. That's great as well. The next change we're targeting addresses 2 concerns. First, ZG and Blackwing Lair unlocking at the same time would differ from how they originally came out. And it makes sense to not have gear and enchants from ZG available during early progress in Blackwing Lair. Guys, this is a great news. Secondly, the Emerald Dragon should be available earlier than the opening of Encourage, as they give ways to start preparing for nature resist gear for someone that encounters an AQ. Guys, this just goes to show you that they listen to the community, guys, so we have to make sure we continue to make our voices be heard. Along the way, we've taken a close look at items that provide the biggest power gains, many of which were introduced in 1.10 as part of the Sweeping Dungeon and Itemization Pass. That patch was when Tier 0.5 gear was introduced and relics were added to the drop tables of many bosses. It also adjusted drop rates and drop locations for a lot of gear to make room for the relics. We've gone back and reconstructed many of the most heavily affected drop tables as they existed prior to the 1.10 patch, and we're planning to update the drop tables alongside the Encourage war effort. Prior to the Encourage unlock, most of the drop rates and locations will look as they did in the patches prior to 1.10 with exceptions. There are lots of little changes made in earlier patches that don't have a big effect on player power, and in those cases we're planning to use 1.12 drop rates and locations. One example of the many items we're planning for this, Titanic Leggings, which is a world drop that first appeared in 1.10. We can confirm that it will be controlled by the same content unlock that restricts other 1.10 loot changes. So this is great to hear, guys. Here's what the release order currently looks like. Phase 1, Molten Core, Onyxia, and Addons. Phase 2, Dire Maw, Azure Ghost, and Kazakh. That's actually really good also because you have a lot of space in between the next raid tier, guys. This is really good. It gives a lot of time to get Molten Core cleared. A lot of people get the 60. Phase 3, Blackwing Lair, Darkmoon Faire, and the Darkmoon Faire deck drops. Phase 4, ZG and the Green Dragons. Phase 5, Encourage War Effort. Encourage Raids opens up when the War Effort dictates, so when whoever faction gets the thing done, the War Effort completed. Dungeon Loot Reconfiguration, Tier 0.5 Dungeon Gear, Relics, Drop Rates, and Location Changes. Perfect. And Phase 6, Nax and Scourge Invasion. So they basically took 12 content patches, squeezed them into 6. This is exactly what I thought they were going to do back in the day. If you listen to their one of my very old DefTalks or vanilla discussions, I kind of wanted them to squeeze some of the content patches into one. And I feel this 6 versus 4 is a much better way to do this, especially having Dire Maw come out in its own phase. It's very good. We haven't yet determined exactly when phases 2 to 6 will occur, and PvP content is notably missing from this list above. That's because we're still evaluating our options regarding PvP rewards, as they also change over time, both in power and in terms of which PvP reward items were available. While we can't elaborate on every detail of every step we're going to take yet, We're here reading all of your questions, and we're going to keep answering. We're going to keep the answers coming. Beautiful. Thank you, guys. Sorry for that phone. I really appreciate what the WoW Classic WoW team's been doing, and I'm very, very happy they're communicating with the community now. So this is very good, and I'll keep making these videos as long as they keep communicating. Thanks to Beaver for sending me this in the timely manner that you did. You're the man. So, all right, guys, have a good one. I hope this is a spot of good news for all of you, and see you in the next one.